Hello everyone, we are from Student Group Discussion B10. Today we will present you our student project video entitled The Role of Formative Assessment in Medical Education. But before we start, let me introduce you all members of Student Group Discussion B10. The first one, Jana Rizka Pramesti. Next, Igusti Ayu Prasavita Sasikirana, Komang Adi Surya Mahotama, Luh Elisa Cynthia Dewi, which is myself, Komang Tangkas Atnya Suyatnyana, Nimade Aprilia Dwi Sisyanti, Ida Ayu Prawartinia Surya, Tabita Etrina Ayu Nindya, Gusti Ayu Erika Catna Anindita, Hana Clarista Nadine, Komang Astri Bunga Sudani, Farel Armando Damanik, and for the last one, Rafa Diarda Fadri. The topic outline that we will discuss today are Introduction, Literature Review, Conclusion, and Advice. For introduction, I will let my friends to present it to you.
Okay, so hello everyone, my name is Farel Armando Damanik, and my last three digit of student number is 243. And today I'm going to explain about the background of our student project. So with the change from pandemic to endemic starting in 2022, almost all educational institutions start to conduct lectures through face-to-face methods or offline lectures. Students are required to understand various things to help ease the learning process. One of the things that student needs to know is assessment, especially about formative assessment. A formative assessment is an assessment that will help lecturers to observe and analyze the performance of the students. Through this assessment, they hope that medical students can reflect on themselves to increase their confidence and improve their performance in the medical field.
Hello, my name is Komang Adi Surya Mahotama with the last three digit student number of 221. The purpose is to understanding the important role of formative assessment in medical education. We create a student project entitled The Role of Formative Assessment in Medical Education with the following purpose. First, understand the definition of formative assessment. Second, understand the mechanism of formative assessment. Third, understand the challenge of formative assessment. Fourth, knowing the impact of formative assessment. Fifth, knowing the implementation of formative assessment. Okay, that's all of my presentation. Thank you.
Hello everyone, so my name is Hana Clarista Nadine, or you can call me Nadine, and my student ID number is 22025112236. Today I'm going to tell you about the benefits of formative assessment. The first one is formative assessment can improve the learning process and change the mindset and behavior of students so that the learning process can increase. Second one, lecturers and students can obtain valuable information. And lastly, the third one is formative assessment is flexible. Why flexible? Because students and lecturers can share facts with each other to make decisions for further development.
Before I continue the presentation, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Gusti Ayu Erika Nindita with last three digits of student number 233. Formative assessment is defined as a planned ongoing process used by students and teachers during learning and teaching activities to elicit and use evidence of student learning in order to improve student understanding of intended disciplinary learning outcomes, as well as provide support for students to become self-directed learners. When applying formative assessment in learning activities, teachers gather evidence of the students' learning and then adapt or modify instruction and feedback based on identified learning needs. Students also have a role in the application of formative assessment through self-assessment as well as peer assessment, which involves giving or receiving feedback to their peers or themselves.
Hello everyone, my name is Elisa Cynthia Dewi with the last three digit student numbers 223. Today, I will tell you about the mechanism of formative assessment. By reading the definition, we can define the formative assessment as a process used by lecturers and students during instruction that provides feedbacks to adjust ongoing lectures and learning to improve students' achievement. The main purpose of formative assessment itself is to improve student learning and opportunities to learn through carefully designed instruction. The formative assessment can be implemented by places demand on students to take a more serious approach to learn and work harder. Other than that, we can also using e-quizzes to create brief and post tasks in order to provide feedbacks from students' understanding. We can also foresee students to be peer on their classes, that students can become their facilitator itself for their classmates. That's all for the presentation from me. Thank you.
Let me introduce myself first. My name is Ida Yukarartini Surya with the last 3 digits numbers 230. Today, I would like to present you guys what is the difference between the formative assessment and the summative assessment. The formative evaluations provides essential data on students' strengths and also weaknesses on a regular basis. Formative assessment is required to discover the form and amount of educational inadequacies so that remedial programs can be designed and implemented. Formative evaluations will provide students with regular feedback on their accomplishment and failure, permitting them to enhance their performance.
Hello everyone, my name is Komang Tangkas Anya Suyatyana with the last 3 digit student number of 224. And today I'm gonna explain about summative assessment. Summative evaluation occurs when an individual is examined after completing a significant amount of the course for grade and certification purpose. The notion of summative assessment encompasses various areas of student development such as personal and social traits, interests, appropriate value, health status, and competency in co-curricular programs. The summative evaluation, on the other hand, necessitates the assessment task of cognitive ability as well as the final examination of health, behavior, work habits, hygiene, cooperation, and other interpersonal and personal attributes using easy and manageable instrument. Thank you.
Hello doctor and also my friend, my name is Dinariska Pramesti with the last 3 digits student number 208. So now I'm going to tell you about the challenge of formative assessment. First challenge is the size of one class. When there is many students in the class, the teacher is hard to give a feedback because the class was too large, but it can be improved by divide the student in a group and one teacher per group as their facilitator. Student motivation in learning is also the challenge. Many research say that students will easily feel bored when repeated the same task. The third challenge is the development of teacher assessment skills. Students have many diverse problems that sometimes formative feedback doesn't work and turn out being a new learning difficulties, so school supporter must support the teacher who are struggling against political and social structure discourses that allows them to develop formative assessment concept on the basis of their individual ways of thinking and doing.
Hello everyone, my name is Rafadiar Fajri and my last 3 digits of my student number is 244. And today, I'm gonna explain more challenge in formative assessment. In formative assessment, students may have a limited time due to their learning activities. This may lead to many more problems such as dishonesty, plagiarism, and much many more. Formative assessment can also lead to a competitive competition among students in the class. This is certainly not good, considering to the formative assessment main purpose which helps students to improve their quality and evaluate their understanding of the previous learning materials.
My name is Nimadia Pilar Yusisyanti with the last 3 digits student number of 229 will explain the impact of formative assessment. Formative assessment entails dynamic interaction between students and teachers. Through formative assessment, students are encouraged to become more self-aware on their learning needs and to realize the learning outcomes and objectives that will be attained in the future. Furthermore, formative evaluation motivates students to participate in regular learning and study for more thorough comprehension. Too much formative testing, on the other hand, impairs students' ability to earn autonomously. This could have an adverse impact on the outcome itself.
So for the next topic is the implementation of formative assessment in medical education will be explained by me. So hello guys, my name is Komang Sri Bunga Sudani, usually called by Bunga, with the last 3 digits of student number is 241. At the Faculty of Medicine, Udayana University, especially the undergraduate medical study programs, implement several activities that we can include it into formative assessment.
Namely, the first one is a small group discussion or SGD, the second one is student project or SP, and the third one is quiz. Small group discussion or SGD. SGD is a form of activity that carried out by Udayana University medical student in which in one class is divided into several groups that consisting 10 until 12 people. In several lecture meetings in 1 week, each SGD will be given a case that and its questions along with other learning tasks that must be discussed in one SGD group. The second one is a student project or SP. SP is the activity of writing a scientific paper based on literature reviews and made on a predetermined topic that one SGD have gotten in our study guide. The third one is quiz. Quiz is an activity that carried out after the lecture, and it's carried out in several times a week. As the name suggests, the quiz contains several questions about the lectures that we have received to test our cognitive knowledge about the lecture materials that we have gotten in the class.
Conclusion. Formative assessment is an assessment that will help lecturers observe and analyze the students' performances in hopes that it will become a great stepping stone as medical students progress to become medical professionals. Formative assessment is also an assessment with the chance for the subjects to reflect on themselves and create improvement in their upcoming performance. The role of formative assessment in medical education is as a benchmark to know whether the student have fully understood the materials or not. The implementation of formative assessment strategies in medical education can be found in the form of small group discussion, student projects, and quizzes.
Before I continue our presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Tabitha Tirina Unibersembiring with last 3 digits of my student number 232. I will explain about the advice. There are both benefits and challenges that must be solved for the formative assessment strategy to be fully optimized in medical education. Challenges that causes a hamper to improvement will be possible to overcome if we start applying problem-based learning to our studies. This learning will allow us to gain more, therefore increasing the probability of overcoming the lack of knowledge that hampered the achievement of the goal. That's the end of our presentation. We are from small group discussion B10. Thank you for listening.